So I'm going to be reading two bits of scripture for you. The first one is going to come out of 1 Samuel. It is in chapter 3 and it's 9 through 10. And it reads, "Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go, lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went to lay down in his place, and the Lord came and stood, and called as other times, Samuel, Samuel. And then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth." And the little bit of context that I'm going to give you, which will tie it all together in the end, is that in this scripture, when we're reading about Samuel being called by the Lord, he gets called 3 times. And he thinks that it's Eli that's calling him, and Eli tells him, "No, it's not me, go lay back down." And on the 3rd time, Eli realizes that it's the Lord calling Samuel, and Eli teaches Samuel what to do. The second bit of scripture that I'm going to read is going to come from 1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 22. And this one reads, "And Samuel took Saul and his servant and brought them into the parlor, and made them sit in the chiefest place among them that were bidden, which were about 30 persons." And in this context of scripture, we have Samuel years later, and the people of Israel want a king. And Samuel was old, and his sons weren't good, and the people wanted a king. And Samuel warned them many times of what it would be like if they got a king. But they wanted a king anyway. And God told Samuel that he was going to go into the city, and he would see the man that would reign over the people. And Samuel goes, and God tells him, "Behold the man." And in both of these instances, these men could have been very envious. And Eli could have been incredibly upset because it wasn't his sons that were being called, and it wasn't him that was being called. And when Samuel told him what the Lord was saying about him, this is when Eli found out that he knew about the punishment that was coming to Eli's household. And it was because his sons, Eli's sons, made themselves vile, and Eli did not restrain them. And after Samuel told Eli that, Eli even said in verse 18, "It is the Lord. Let him do what seemeth him good." And Samuel could have also been incredibly upset with meeting Saul. And Samuel was displeased with knowing that the people wanted a king. And he warned them of what it would be like, and they disobeyed his warning. But what did Eli and Samuel do? In these moments, they were obedient to God. And Eli taught Samuel, and Samuel put Saul at the best place at his table. And there are moments in our lives where what we might want or what we may have planned for certain situations is not what God's plan is for us. And in these moments, we should be like the Eli and the Samuel who has put their full faith and trust in the Lord's plan rather than in their own or what they may want. So in these moments, let us teach, and let us put those at the best place at our table. And most importantly, whatever's going on in our lives, even if it's not exactly what we may want to happen, let us have that faith and trust. The plan that the Lord has for us is much greater than any plan that we could have over our lives. And let us always be obedient to that plan.